One word can turn you from a calm, sensible adult into a wild, grabbing animal in under 1 second. You see it almost every day. It's sale. And the instant your brain reads it, it stops thinking and starts lunging. You've felt it, that little jolt in the chest, that warmth, that certainty that you have to act now. Today we figure out exactly what that word does to you and why you can't help it. Let me describe a scene you've lived. You walk into a store or you open an app and you were not planning to buy anything. You were just looking, just browsing, genuinely. And then you see it, a thing. And next to the thing, 2 numbers. A higher number with a line drawn through it and a lower number, in bold, in red, screaming up at you. And below that, the magic words, you save 50%. And something in your chest lifts. A little jolt of excitement, a warmth, a sense that the universe has just handed you a gift, a window, an opportunity that might close any second. And before your slow, sensible brain has even fully woken up, the thing is in your basket, and you walk out with a thing you didn't want 20 minutes ago, feeling not guilty but proud. Like you just won something. Like you outsmarted the store. You didn't outsmart the store. The store ran a play that's older than money itself, and it ran it perfectly, and you did exactly what the play was designed to make you do. And here's the thing, the feeling of winning is the trap. The pride, the little rush of, I got a deal. That is the exact emotion the entire thing was engineered to produce. Because a brain that feels like it's winning doesn't ask the only question that actually matters. So today we're going to take this whole machine apart, piece by piece. We're going to figure out why a sale hits your caveman brain like a drug, why the slashed out price is often a complete fiction, why limited time turns calm humans into grabbing animals, and how to walk past the biggest sale in the world feeling absolutely nothing. Let's go. First, what's at stake? Because I just saved 50% sounds like the opposite of a problem. Here's the cold truth that the wholesale industry depends on you never quite saying out loud. You cannot save money by spending money. It is not possible. If you spend $40 on something you weren't going to buy, you did not save $40. You spent $40. The savings is a story the store told you about a higher price you were never going to pay anyway. And yet that story is so powerful that people will buy things they don't need, don't want, and won't use, purely to capture a saving that exists only in the framing. The sale doesn't help you keep money. The sale is one of the single most effective tools ever invented for getting money out of you, precisely because it dresses spending up in the costume of saving. Over a lifetime, the deals you couldn't resist add up to a mountain of stuff and a hole in your accounts. And every brick of that hole felt, at the time, like a victory. That's what makes it dangerous. You don't defend against a thing that feels like winning. And here's the proof, sitting in your own home right now. Go look in your closet, your cupboards, your drawers, that one shelf in the garage. Count the things you bought on sale that you have used once or never. The gadget that seemed like such a steal, the clothes with the tag still on, the deal you grabbed because the price was too good to pass up, and then it just sat there. Every one of those is a sale that won. You captured the saving and you lost the money because a thing you never used didn't cost you a discounted price. It cost you the full price for nothing, for a feeling that lasted about a day. There's an honest way to think about what something actually costs. And it's not the price on the tag. It's the price divided by how many times you'll really use it. A $50 bargain you use twice costs you $25 per use. A full-price thing you use every day for years costs you pennies per use. The sale never wants you to do that math because that math reveals that the cheapest things in your life are often the ones you paid full price for and actually used. And the most expensive things are the deals gathering dust. The discount is loud, the cost per use is quiet. Guess which one tells the truth? You remember Noggin, our soft pink cartoon brain, big eyes, little stick arms, doing his loyal best in a world he was never built for. You remember the saver angel on one shoulder with her piggy bank, the spender devil on the other with his shopping bags and his credit card. And you remember that when something really tempting shows up, Noggin doesn't stay civilized, he reverts. To cave Noggin, eyes wild, fur standing up, club in hand, grunting, ready to grab. Well, hold on to that image, because nothing on earth summons cave Noggin faster than a sale. The big red sign is basically a magic word that turns our gentle little brain into a club-swinging hunter in about half a second. Today you're going to watch it happen, and you're going to understand exactly why he can't help it. Here's the roadmap. First, we're going to figure out why a deal feels like a literal reward in the brain, and trace that feeling all the way back to the savannah. Then we're going to expose the anchor, the slashed-out original price, and why it's the secret engine of the whole illusion, and why it's so often a flat-out lie. Then we'll look at the second weapon stacked on top, scarcity and the ticking clock, and why limited time only makes cave Noggin completely lose his mind. And then we'll figure out how to diffuse the entire thing with a single, devastatingly simple question. Let's go. So why does a sale feel so good? Let's go back to the world Noggin was built for. On the savannah, cave Noggin lived in a world of scarcity, where resources were unpredictable and getting more for the same effort was an enormous survival win. Imagine he walks his usual path and finds the usual handful of berries. Fine, normal. But now imagine he walks his path and finds a bush absolutely loaded with berries, twice as many as usual, for the exact same walk, the exact same effort, the exact same risk. What happens inside his brain? A flood of reward chemistry, a jolt of pure pleasure. Because his brain is built to reward him hard whenever he gets more than expected for his effort, that's the signal that says, this is a good situation. Remember this spot, do this again. Getting more than expected was, on the savannah, one of the most reliably good things that could happen to you. So the brain made it feel fantastic to make sure you chased it. Now look at what a sale does. The sale takes that exact ancient circuit and lights it up on purpose. You are going to pay 100, but you only have to pay 50. You get the same thing for half the effort. To cave Noggin, that is the loaded berry bush. That is more for less. That is the windfall his brain was specifically built to reward and chase. And so he gets the jolt, the lift in the chest, the little rush of pleasure that has nothing to do with the object and everything to do with the feeling of getting more than expected. The store didn't sell him a thing. The store sold him a hit of his own savannah reward chemistry. And here's the cruel genius of it. That good feeling, that jolt, is real. It's not imaginary. His brain really does reward him, which is exactly why it's so hard to resist, and exactly why people get hooked on the hunt for deals, even when the deals leave them poorer. They're not chasing the stuff, they're chasing the hit. But the jolt needs fuel. It needs a comparison. And that brings us to the most important piece of the entire machine, the anchor. Here's the thing about value. Cave Noggin has no idea what anything is really worth. None of us do. There is no little tag in your brain that knows the true, objective value of a sweater, or a gadget, or a meal. So how does the brain decide if a price is good? It does the only thing it knows how to do. It compares. It judges the price in front of it against some reference point. And whatever reference point is sitting right there, the brain will use it. This is the anchor. And the people who design sales understand this better than almost anything else in their entire profession. So watch what they do. They don't just show you the price they want you to pay. They show you a higher price first, with a line drawn through it. Was 100, now 50. And that crossed out 100 is not really information. It's an anchor. It's there to plant a number in Cave Noggin's head so that the 50 has something to look cheap next to. Without the anchor, $50 is just $50. Is that good? Cave Noggin has no idea, but put a crossed out 100 right above it, and suddenly 50 feels like a triumph. The anchor did all the work. The 50 didn't get cheaper. The reference point got higher. And Cave Noggin, who can only judge by comparison, falls for it completely. Because comparing to whatever's in front of him is the only tool his ancient brain has for judging value at all. And the wild thing is, the anchor doesn't even have to be a crossed-out price. It can be anything. It can be a more expensive version sitting right next to the one they actually want to sell you. They're purely to make the middle option feel reasonable. It can be the first price you happen to see, which then colors how every price after it feels. Cave Noggin grabs whatever number lands first and measures everything else against it, helplessly, automatically. Show him a big number first, and the next one feels small. Show him a small number first, and the next one feels outrageous. He has no fixed sense of worth to fall back on, so whoever controls the first number controls the whole comparison. And in a store, that's never you. And now here's the part that should genuinely make you angry, in a useful way. That crossed out original price, very often, it was never real. It's not a price the thing actually sold at. It's a number invented specifically to be crossed out. Some products are created from the very beginning to be on sale. The high original price exists on paper for one reason, so that there's something to slash, so that there's an anchor to make the sale price feel like a gift. The discount you're so excited about is measured against a fiction. You're not getting 50% off the real value. You're getting 0% off a made-up number that was designed to make you feel like you're getting 50% off. The whole saving can be, start to finish, a story written to trigger your Berry Bush reward circuit. And the maddening thing is that it works even when some part of you suspects the anchor is fake, because the feeling fires before the suspicion does, just like the missing penny last time. The jolt doesn't wait for your permission. Let me show you Noggin living this. He's walking through the store, perfectly calm, not buying, just looking. And then he rounds a corner and boom, a wall of red, sale, 60% off. And watch him change. His pupils blow wide. The fur on his little brain stands straight up. His calm, browsing brain shuts off, and Cave Noggin surges to the front, because his ancient circuit just screamed, "Berry Bush, windfall, more for less, grab it before someone else does." He grabs the thing. He doesn't even fully know what it is yet. The Saver Angel is waving her arms going, "Do we need this? Do we even want this? We came in for socks." But Cave Noggin cannot hear her over the roar of the reward chemistry. And the spender devil, lounging on the other shoulder, doesn't even have to say much. He just murmurs, "Look how much we're saving." And Cave Noggin clutches the thing to his chest like it's the last food before winter. He's not buying a product, he's hunting a feeling. And the store left that feeling out on a table with a big red sign, like bait. Now they stack a second weapon on top, because the windfall jolt is powerful, but it can fade if Cave Noggin pauses to think. So the sale designers make absolutely sure he doesn't pause. They add the clock. Limited time only, today only. Sale ends at midnight. Only 3 left in stock. A countdown timer literally ticking down on the screen. And this hits a completely separate, equally ancient circuit. Remember the scarcity rule from way back? When a resource is about to disappear, grab it now, because hesitation means it's gone and someone else got it. On the savannah, the window to seize a windfall really did close. The other band would take the berries. The carcass would be claimed by scavengers. So Cave Noggin evolved a powerful, panicky urgency around things that might vanish. And the ticking clock detonates that circuit on purpose. Watch what the clock does to him. The jolt of the deal was making him want it. Now the clock adds fear. Not fear of losing money, fear of losing the opportunity, the fear of being the guy who hesitated and watched the windfall slip away. And this fear is so strong that it can completely override the simple question of whether he wanted the thing at all. The clock changes the question in his head from, "Do I want this?" to, "Can I get this before it's gone?" Those are completely different questions. The first one is about the object. The second one is about winning a race against a disappearing window. And Cave Noggin, terrified of being the one who missed out, stops evaluating the purchase entirely and just grabs. That's why limited time sales convert so brutally well. They don't make you want the thing more. They make you stop asking whether you want it and start panicking about losing the chance. Fear is faster than thought, and the clock is built to make sure fear gets there first. Picture Noggin at the checkout screen now, because online is where this weapon is sharpest. He's got the thing in his cart, the one he grabbed off the big red sign, and he's hesitating just slightly, the saver angel finally getting a word in. And then the screen does something. A little timer appears. 10 minutes to complete your order or lose this price. Tick. And just below it, only 2 left in stock. And below that, 11 other people are looking at this right now. Watch Cave Noggin's face. The hesitation evaporates. His heart rate jumps. Because every single one of those messages is aimed at a different prong of the scarcity circuit. The clock says the window is closing. The stock count says the resource is nearly gone. And the other people looking says rival members of the band are circling the same berry bush right now, and one of them is about to take it. That last one is especially vicious, because on the savannah, losing a resource to a rival wasn't just losing the resource, it was falling behind in the band, and falling behind could kill you. So Cave Noggin doesn't calmly finish his decision. He lunges at the button, heart pounding, certain that if he waits even 30 more seconds, he'll lose. He didn't decide to buy. He got chased into buying by 3 imaginary predators that a designer added to a web page on purpose. None of them were real. The timer resets for the next visitor. The 2 left has been 2 left all week. The 11 people are a number generated by a script, but Cave Noggin's pounding heart doesn't know that, and the pounding heart is the one holding the card. And when you stack all 3 together, the windfall jolt that feels like a reward, the fake anchor that makes the price look like a triumph, and the ticking clock that injects pure grab-it-now panic, you get a machine that can make a calm, sensible person walk out with something they never wanted, feeling like they just won a prize. That's not a sale. That's a precision strike on 3 of Cave Noggin's oldest instincts at the same time. So here's the twist. The thing I really want you to keep. It is not your fault. Once again, truly, not as comfort, but as fact. You are not greedy. You are not weak-willed. You did not get suckered. You walked past a device specifically engineered to trigger 3 of your most ancient survival circuits simultaneously. The windfall reward circuit, the value by comparison circuit, and the scarcity panic circuit. Circuits that were carved into you over hundreds of thousands of years because they kept your ancestors alive. The version of Cave Noggin who got a jolt from a windfall, who grabbed before the window closed, who chased more for less. That's the version who survived and had kids. You are descended from the best deal grabbers who ever lived. Resisting a sale isn't a matter of being a stronger person. It's a matter of fighting your own survival wiring with the small, quiet, slow part of your brain that evolution barely bothered to build. The deck is stacked. It was always stacked. But, and here it is again, it is still your responsibility. Because the stores are never, ever going to stop running sales. The fake anchors aren't going away. The countdown clocks aren't going away. The big red signs will be there your whole life. Every single one of them engineered by people who understand Cave Noggin better than you do. Nobody is coming to protect that ancient little brain from the bait. So the job falls to you, the modern you, sitting on top of him. Not to never enjoy a genuine deal again. Genuine deals exist, and buying something you actually wanted at a real discount is a fine thing. The job is to tell the difference between a real deal on something you wanted and a manufactured feeling on something you didn't, and to stop letting the second one empty your accounts while wearing the costume of the first. So here's how you fight back. Defense number 1, and this is the big one, the single most powerful question in this entire video. Ignore the discount completely and ask only this. Would I buy this thing at this final price if it were not on sale? That's it. That's the whole game. Delete the crossed out anchor from your mind entirely. It's fake anyway. Delete the word sale. Delete the percentage. Just look at the actual price you'd actually pay and the actual thing and ask, at that price, full price, no drama, do I want this? If the answer is yes, buy it, enjoy it, the discount is a nice bonus. If the answer is no, or I'm not sure, then you never wanted the thing. You wanted the windfall jolt, and you can walk away from the jolt and keep your money every single time, because that question cuts straight through all 3 weapons at once. The anchor needs a comparison. This question removes the comparison. The clock needs panic. This question is calm. The jolt needs the framing of saving. This question only asks about wanting. One question. It dismantles the whole machine. Defense number 2. Refuse to do the savings math. The sale wants you to calculate how much you're saving because that calculation is the trap. It's the thing that produces the winning feeling. So just don't play. The instant your brain starts going, ooh, that's 50 off, that's such a good, stop it cold and replace it with the only number that's real, the number leaving your account. Not the saving, the spend. This cost me $50, full stop. Say it like that, plainly, the spend and only the spend, and watch how much weaker the pull becomes. The saving is a story. The spend is the truth. Keep your eyes on the truth. Defense number 3, add time to defeat the clock. The countdown clock works by injecting panic faster than you can think. So the counter move is to deliberately insert time, because time is the one thing the panic cannot survive. Make yourself a rule. Any sale item over a certain amount, you walk away and sleep on it. 24 hours. And here's the beautiful part. If the deal is real, it'll usually still be there tomorrow, or another one will come along next week. Because sales are not rare, they are constant. That's the whole point. And if it's truly gone tomorrow, you survived. You did not actually miss out on anything that mattered. The limited time was almost always a lie or a loop anyway. 9 times out of 10, 24 hours later, the jolt has faded. Cave noggin has calmed down. The thinking brain is back online, and you simply don't want it. You didn't resist the sale. You just outlasted the clock. And the clock has no power over someone willing to walk away. Defense number 4, distrust the anchor on sight. Train yourself so that the instant you see a crossed out original price, a little alarm goes off that says, that number is there to manipulate me, not to inform me. Treat every slash price as guilty until proven innocent. Assume the anchor is inflated, possibly fake, possibly a number the thing never honestly sold for. Because once you stop trusting the anchor, the whole percentage collapses. 60% off means nothing if the number it's 60% off of was invented this morning. So when you genuinely want to know if a price is good, ignore the store's anchor entirely and find your own reference. What do similar things cost elsewhere? What would you personally have happily paid for this with no sign at all? Your reference, not theirs. The moment you bring your own anchor, theirs stops working. Defense number 5, shop from a list, never from a sale. This one flips the whole dynamic around. The sales power comes from getting you to start with the deal and work backwards to a reason you need it. So reverse it. Decide what you actually need or want first when you're calm and there's no red sign in sight, and write it down. Then, and only then, go look for it. If the thing on your list happens to be on sale, wonderful, real bonus. But anything not on your list is, by definition, the store choosing for you instead of you choosing for yourself. A sale on something you'd already decided to buy is a gift. A sale on something you'd never thought about until you saw the sign is the sale generating the desire from scratch. It's the bait creating the hunger. The list is your pre-committed self protecting you from your in-the-moment self. Cave Noggin can't be trusted with a blank check inside a store engineered to excite him. But he can be trusted to find the 3 things calm you already decided on and walk out. Defense number 6. Name the feeling, not just the trick. When you feel that lift in your chest at a big red sign, name it for what it is. Say in your head, that's the windfall jolt, that's the berry bush, that's Cave Noggin getting his reward chemistry, and it has nothing to do with whether I want this thing. The instant you name the feeling as separate from the object, you break the spell, because the whole machine depends on you confusing the two, on you thinking the good feeling is about the product, when really the good feeling is just your ancient circuitry responding to the framing. Pull those two apart, feel the jolt fully, enjoy it even, and then notice you can keep the jolt and skip the purchase. The feeling was free the whole time. So let's bring it home. Here's everything we took apart today. A sale feels good because it hijacks an ancient reward circuit built to make more for less feel fantastic. The loaded berry bush, the windfall, the survival jackpot that your brain was designed to chase. The slashed out original price is an anchor, a reference point planted to make the sale price feel like a triumph, and it's very often a complete fiction, a number invented specifically to be crossed out. And the ticking clock and limited time detonate a separate scarcity panic circuit, changing the question in your head from, do I want this? To, can I grab it before it's gone? Fear arriving faster than thought. Stack all 3 and you get a machine that makes calm people buy things they never wanted while feeling like they won. It is not your fault. These are survival circuits hundreds of thousands of years old, and you're descended from the best grabbers who ever lived. And it is still your responsibility, which you handle with one devastating question. Would I buy this at this price if it weren't on sale? Plus, refusing the savings math, adding time to kill the clock, distrusting the anchor, shopping from a list instead of from a sign, and naming the feeling as separate from the thing. And here's what I want Noggin and you to really hold on to. The goal was never to stop enjoying things, or to feel guilty every time a price drops, or to become some grim person who never buys anything nice. The goal is just to take back the one thing the sale was trying to steal. The simple, clear question of whether you actually want the thing in front of you. That's all. The sale tries to drown that question in jolts and anchors and ticking clocks, and your only job is to keep the question alive and ask it out loud. Do that, and you can still buy whatever you genuinely want at whatever price you decide is fair, with your eyes wide open. The difference between a deal hunter who ends up broke and a person who ends up free isn't that one of them never buys things on sale. It's that one of them is chasing the feeling, and the other one knows the feeling for what it is and buys the thing on purpose. Cave Noggin's still going to light up at every big red sign. That's wired in, that's automatic, that jolt isn't going anywhere. But now, right behind the jolt, there's a calmer voice that goes, "Berry bush, let it pass. Would I want this at full price?" And that one calm question, asked a few thousand times across a lifetime of sales, is the difference between a brain that gets hunted by every store it walks into and a brain that walks through the loudest sale in the world, feels the jolt, smiles, and keeps its money. So here's where we're going next time. We've talked about the sale that grabs you when you're standing right in front of it. But there's a darker, quieter version of overspending, the kind that doesn't need a sale at all, the kind that creeps up on you, not when you're excited, but when you're down. When you've had a bad day, when you're stressed, when you're lonely or sad, and somehow, without quite deciding to, you find yourself buying something, anything, because it makes the bad feeling go away for about an hour. Retail therapy. It's real. There's real brain chemistry behind it, and it's one of the most expensive emotional habits a person can have. Why do we shop when we're sad, and how do we stop? That's next time. I'll see you there.